the negative 1 half. No?
What?
Oh, I think it's in the first one. X squared.
First word starts with
Squared.
Plus x squared? Plus x squared?
It's just the first power, isn't it?
Oh, no. X squared.
Oh,
Wait,
actually, I made a mistake.
Yeah, shouldn't that be root?
Another factor 2.
Oh.
I really did. I made that mistake. Is that plus an x squared? Or shall we simply say we got a 5x squared plus 4x, bless you, all over 2 root x plus 1?
I'm sorry, can you just take a step back?
Yes, I can.
2x, how did that turn into 4x?
Well, I was just trying to find a common denominator.
Ah, gotcha. Gotcha. I feel.
And by the way, if I factor further my numerator's position, whoops, no green. Does that give me an x times 5x plus 4? Let's see how blazing fast you are. What are my critical numbers?
Negative 1.
Negative 1 and oh, I'm sorry, 0 as well. I missed that one. 0. And it's also negative 4/5.
and negative 1.
Do you think negative 1 can yield a local max and local min?
It's undefined.
No.
What's undefined? Well, negative 1's a real number. It's defined as a real number. What do you mean?
Well, it gives you a vertical asymptote.
Does it really? Why? So, David, I think negative 1 is a critical number because my first derivative function is undefined there. But in terms of the original function, what happens that x equals negative 1? Say it again. Say it
Gives
one
you
more time.
0.
I think it just gives me an x-intercept, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because when you plug negative 1 in for x, I think the y value is going to be 0. Do you think it still could yield a local max? Or min? I think it's emphatically no, because the domain of my function is clearly all real numbers negative 1 on up. I'm not defined as a function on the left-hand side of negative 1. Do you see that understood restriction? You told me you asked me for a more challenging example. Nabil? That's right.
Wait, so
Yes,
the endpoints can't be local mins or maps,
Never.
but they can be absolute mins or maps?
True, yes. The reason why it can never be local mins or local maxes, because I can never find an open integral containing it for which my function is entirely defined on either side of that number c, which in this case is negative 1.
So like negative 1 could be an absolute max,
Or an absolute min.
but not a...
It can never be a local max or a local min, no.
It's not local.
Okay.
Nabil, I can graph this in my head. Here's what the picture looks like. X-axis, y-axis, ends up looking something like this. Do you see at x equals negative 1? I actually do, in this particular example, have an absolute min there. The absolute min is 0. It's just that it's not a local min because I can't create some open interval containing x equals negative 1, for which the y value is always bigger or always smaller than the interval.
Okay, I was always under the impression that absolute mins and maxes, or all absolute mins
Extreme.
and maxes were also either relative or max.
And emphatically not. And emphatically not. I don't think it's the case that all absolute extremes also have to be relative extreme. And here's a perfect example. Second derivative function. Let's find the. Do you guys agree? If I'm right with my picture, it does seem to be the case there's an inflection point there.
Yes.
How do you find it?
Second derivative.
Second derivative function. Let's compute it.
Let's do it.
I think the second derivative function is going to look like this. I get the function downstairs as is do not touch, times derivative function upstairs, which is 10x plus 4, minus the function upstairs as is do not touch, times the derivative function downstairs, which is 1 over root x plus 1. All over what you see downstairs twice. How are my math D skills? Good. And now to clean this mess up, I guess I'll multiply top and bottom of the big fraction by root x plus 1. That would give me this downstairs. Upstairs, I think that gives me the product 2 with x plus 1 with 10x plus 4 minus my 5x squared plus 4x. And in foiling out, I guess the first times the first is a 10x squared, but I'm multiplying by 2. The outside times the outside plus the inside times the inside of 4x plus 10x, which is 14x, but multiplying by 2, I guess it gives me 28. The last times the last gives me a positive 4, but again, I'm doubling this, so I guess it gives me a positive 8. And if you guys don't mind, I'll now collect like terms upstairs. And in collecting like terms upstairs, I guess that gives me a total of 15x squared. I guess at least with a 24x. And then finally a positive 8. All over my 4 times x plus 1 to the 3 halves.
Oh, that's supposed to be a 5x squared?
Yeah, it definitely looks like a 9.
I thought it was a 7.
Really?
What is that?
So you finally came to the
It
random
doesn't even
number
look like that.
Just take pictures of Dr. Balagow's handwriting.
She created a font.
Oh no, you guys, I can't factor that thing upstairs. What am I going to do?
Give up.
No.
Run away.
French way.
Yeah, French way.
Quadratic.
Quadratic formula. And if I use a quadratic formula, I see my second derivative function is equal to 0 here. Is x going to be equal to negative plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a? Or shall I say negative 24 plus or minus, I have no clue. What's the result of the square root of all that garbage?
Bubbles.
More bubbles. It would be 2 root 6.
Oh, so this thing is just 2 root 6?
Yeah. And then negative 12 over 15.
So what are you saying? I get
The-
negative 12 over 15.
Negative 12 plus or minus 2 root 6 over 15. Yes.
So you've already canceled 2 with something else.
No, 2 root 6 is the after cancellation.
Gotcha, like this.
Yes. Yes.
But shoot, you guys, hold on a second. The square root of 6 is bigger than the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2. So 2 times this is going to be bigger than 4. But negative 12 minus something bigger than 4 is going to be more negative than 15. It's going to be more than negative 1. I think it's outside the domain of my function. I think the only one of these that's going to work is going to be the negative 12 plus 2 root 6. I think this inflection point is located at negative 12 plus 2 root 6 all over 15, comma something. There's my inflection point. I cheated. I didn't find the corresponding one. I'd have to pick this up off the board and slap it in for x here and here and see what I get. I'm beating that clock. I'm not going to do it. Are you there? Okay. Can you guys feel impressed how, took over an hour just look at 3 examples. There's a lot of work in here in finding local extreme and inflection points. But when you come back on Wednesday night, it's going to be so much more work when it comes to putting these together in graph. And then on Wednesday night, even so much more when it comes to optimizing. I think by far it would be in your best interest if you came to class before Wednesday, read ahead of me on both sections 4, 3, and 4, 4. I think they're pretty good.
Follow-up question.
Yes.
You say that most of the class period we're going to be spending going over 4, 4, and 4, 5, meaning there's only going to be a take-home quiz?
Nervous. I don't want to spend time in class on Wednesday night with a quiz.
Oh, I agree.
Is that okay? I just do
Absolutely.
take them.
I agree. I concur. Completely.
No in class quiz. Yes.
Sorry, I couldn't hear. You said to read 4.3 and 4.4?
Yeah, read ahead of me for Wednesday night, 4, 3, and 4, 4, because I think they're fairly big sections. I do want to conclude with them Wednesday night.
What's 4, 3, and 4, 4? What are they called?
4, 3 is graphing,
Graphing.
and 4, 4 is optimization.
That's what YouTube's for.
Optimization requires you to know all of this.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
Makes it so tricky.
Awesome.
Plus, it's like related rates type of things.
Gravity and what? And utilization?
Optimization.
Optimization, thank you. Optimization.
You guys, we're no longer in Kansas.
Oh, no.
Don't say that.
Oh.
Why would you do that? We have other classes, have mercy.
You do not.
Of course not.
Math is the only class you need.
Oh, isn't that true?
I
Right?
don't have enough
Oh,
room on my
absolutely.
page to write this.
Oh, I did have,
Right.
I have a statement to your statement on the policy.
Oh, what's that?
Dirty math and physics is related related rates, not dirty physics, because that's all related rates are, is physics. So therefore it's dirty math. Therefore, by your definition, math is dirty. I'm just going.
You know, last semester,
Yes.
there was one morning I got up, I had no kids, and I was gonna sit in the backyard drinking my tea, and I went to my shelf and grabbed a book on graduate level applied mathematics. I went out in the backyard, I opened up, before I could finish the first sentence, 2 wasps came back to me because it stung me. It's like, I don't pick up any.
Well, that would mean that it's positive, so 2 negatives will give you a positive. Therefore,
All right, that's